Today we're going to do a tea-smoked salmon salad, and let's get started. So I'm starting off with my smoking mixture. So we're going to be smoking the salmon ourselves. So in here we've got just plain basmati rice. That's going to absorb the heat when we're smoking the salmon. So I'd say I've got a good quarter cup of basmati rice. To that I'll add some tea. So your tea is obviously your main ingredient that's going to be making the smoke. So we'll put about five bags of tea in. English breakfast tea is fine. So just tip it straight in. So that's 3 and another 2. To that we add sugar. I prefer to use white sugar. You can use brown sugar, but just be aware that brown sugar will burn a lot quicker. So about 3 tablespoons of sugar. Mix that up. And then we spray it with a bit of water. Now you need this mixture to be moist because moisture makes smoke. So yeah, the moister it is, without being wet obviously, the more it's going to smoke and the more flavour it's going to give your salmon. So just be quite careful with that water, not too much, so it starts to stick together. That's about right. So now for the smoking, I'm just going to use a wok. So I'm going to use a tin foil base on the wok so that I'm not going to ruin my wok. Because it's got sugar in there, it will stick to the base of the wok and it will ruin my wok. So once that's done, I can just take out the tin foil and throw it away. So we take that, just tip it in the bottom. And that's done. So now we're going to prepare the salmon. We'll place the salmon on top of that rack just to keep it off that smoking mixture. And once the salmon's smoked, it'll take about 10 minutes. While the salmon's smoking, we'll get the salad done. So we'll move on to the salmon next. Okay, so we're back with the Tasmanian salmon now, which I've cut into 100-gram portions. So we're going to marinate these up before we get them on smoking. So in the bowl here I've got lemon zest and I've got olive oil. Not much, just a little. I'm going to put some brown sugar in that. The brown sugar will caramelize up while it's smoking and I'll give it a really good sweet flavour. Brown sugar is quite good for this, but I'm just going with white sugar. So I've got the zest of a quarter of a lemon in there. I've got about a tablespoon olive oil and I've got 2 tablespoons of sugar. To that I'm still going to add 2 pinches of sea salt just to help bring out the flavour of the salmon. So we put that on top of the salmon just to give it a crust, and then we'll put that on top of the smoker and we'll start smoking. You could probably also do something very similar to this on a Weber barbecue. You'll get a very similar result. So we'll lift the salmon up. Now it's important to notice that I've pre-greased that rack so that the salmon skin won't stick. So we've got that on there. Our smoking mixture is down on the bottom and we've got that wire rack just holding it off. We'll get that on the smoker and we'll start smoking it. So I've got the salmon on the stove now on a very high heat. As soon as the rice is ready, it will start to smoke. and I've got my tin foil here ready to cover it. As soon as it starts smoking quite heavily, I'll cover it up so that we can start cooking that salmon. And be sure to have the extractor fan on high because I don't want to set off the smoke alarms. As you can see, it's starting to smoke now, so we'll cover it up very tightly with tin foil and leave it for a few minutes on high heat to continue smoking. So the salmon's been smoking for about 8 minutes now. I've just had a look at it. It's got really good colour, and I'd say it'd be about close to medium rare. So while I'm doing my salad, I'm just going to turn it down to medium heat. I still want it to keep smoking, but we'll concentrate on the salad now. So we're going to do a really simple salad. I've got rocket, I've got grape tomatoes, crystallized ginger, avocado, Japanese mayonnaise. I'll come back to the Japanese mayonnaise, but getting the salad done. Now I've pre-cut some grape tomatoes, so we'll start off with a little bit of the rocket in the bowl. Keep in mind I've only got 2 portions of salmon, so I'm not going to need a lot of salad. So we get rocket in the bowl. These cherry tomatoes that I've just cut, get them in there. The crystallized ginger, it gives the dish an added sweetness, not that it needs any more sweetness with all that sugar on the salmon. And there's the Japanese mayonnaise, which is quite sweet as well. But I really like the flavour of that ginger with the salmon. Ginger and salmon, I just love that flavour combination. So I think those two go quite well together. So that's our salad so far. We'll get some avocado in there. Okay, and just chopping it into rough pieces. And lastly, the Japanese mayonnaise. Now, why I'm using a Japanese mayonnaise is a little bit sweeter than other mayonnaise. They're not using white wine vinegar, it's rice wine vinegar. So it's got that added sweetness of the rice, but it doesn't have the acidity of white wine vinegar. You've still got your whole egg yolks and everything else in here, but it's got a bit more of a velvet texture. So for this dish, I'm going to be using that. I'm not going to use aioli, just it doesn't need the garlic, so just a plain Japanese mayonnaise. You can buy it at most shops. So it's done and it's ready to go. So we'll just get a little bit of that in there. Don't need much, just enough to cover those leaves. While that's sitting there, I'm just going to turn that salmon off, and then we'll just plate this up. So we're back to our salad now. So I've just dressed that before with that Japanese mayonnaise. It's just coated the leaves quite lightly. I'm not going overboard, so we'll get a bit of that onto the plate. At the end of the day, your main feature is the salmon, so I'm not going to take away from that. I don't want to put too much in the salad, which is going to take away from that salmon. So I'm just going to try and keep this salad nice, neat, compact, and very simple. So that should do us. Let's go over and grab that salmon quickly. So this is the salmon here. I'm actually going to serve it skin side up, and I'll explain the reason why now. So put that on there like that, and finish that off with just a bit of olive oil. Now, the skin side up in the salmon serves 2 purposes. Obviously you get the great colour and the garnish of the skin, but if I'd served it skin side down, my guests wouldn't have known about the skin and they might have eaten it. Not everyone enjoys the skin, so by serving it skin side up, you're giving the guest the opportunity of just peeling that skin off before they eat it. It also helps to hold the fillet together. If the skin had been taken off when I'd lifted it out of the smoker, there was a very good chance it would have broken. So that skin just holds it together. It gives it good colour and great presentation. And then when your guests have it, they can just pull that skin off, and there she is.